Hey guys, it's Maymay, and today I'm going to answer one of the most asked questions I ever get, and that is this. How much ribbon do I need to purchase to make a bow? Well, I've done the math for you. Today I'm going to give you the measurements for two different bows and show you how to do it. The first one we're going to do is an 8.5 yard bow. So I have cut 8.5 yards of ribbon. Okay, you can edit this to fit whatever you want. I just wanted to do this for you to make life easy. And here's what I've done on my work surface. I've made two marks to show me 6 inches, okay, because I want 6-inch loops. So I'm going to be working between here. What you want to do is take the end of your ribbon. I'm going to lay it about 1 inch past my tape because this is going to get scrunched up and put in the middle of my bow. And then I'm going to come down here to this end and I'm going to use it to help me get my first 6-inch loop. Okay, so now when I scrunch down here, I have a roughly 6-inch loop because we went over a little bit. Now here's what I want to show you. This ribbon is single-sided, which means it's patterned on one side and solid on the other. When you're working with that, you have to do the twist, okay? So what you want to do is where you're holding it in your hand, you want to twist this loop on this side, okay? And once you've twisted, you can then bring it back over to yourself here in the middle, and we'll scrunch that in a second. But before I scrunch it, I want to test my length. You can do it two ways. You can come back here and test it here, or what's even easier is pick these loops up and stretch them. This one's too long. I can tell by the way it's lifting up over the other loop, so I'm going to do that again. That feels much better. You can see here I've got them right the same height, right? Okay, then I will come to the middle and I will scrunch. Now here's what I want to tell you. Take your time. If you've never done this before, don't rush it, okay? I'm going to twist, holding that in my hand. I'm going to make this the same size as that loop there. See that? I'm going to test them. I test with my fingers like that. That feels pretty good. I'm going to scrunch it in the middle, and then we're going to twist. We're going to continue that motion for the whole 8.5 yards. Here's what I want to tell you really quick, okay? The worst part, the hardest part of bow making is holding the middle. What I like to do and what I tell other people to do is readjust it as you go. Don't think that you can only put your fingers there one time and you can't go back to it and adjust it in your fingers. You can, okay? So as I go, I'm going to check my length. I'm going to do the twist here in the middle, and then I'm just going to readjust it in my fingers so I've got a hold of it really good. That way, as I keep going, I won't fight the ribbon. All right, let's keep going until we get 10 loops on this side and 10 loops on the other. Okay, so you can see I have 10 6-inch loops on either side. Now let me show you what's left. This is going to be the tail of my bow, and you can see how much is left. That's about 1 yard there, okay? And here's what you do with it. You're going to bring this guy up from the bottom, okay? And you're going to split it in half. Don't worry, I'll show you in just a second how this works, okay? See this down here? We're just making a bigger loop that's going to hang toward the bottom, all right? And you can even let it kind of go side to side like this if you want it to so you can see it. But all you need here is access to the middle of the bow at this point, okay? So check this out. Zip ties, they are your friend. Trust me on this. You can use wire, chenille stem, whatever you have at home, but here's what I'm going to do. Let me get this where you can see what I'm doing. Give me a second. Here we go. I'm going to take the zip tie and put it around the middle, and I'm going to tighten it just enough to hold it in place for a second, okay? So I've got it there in place, and the next thing I'm going to do, this is my favorite thing, okay? Take another zip tie, place it under this one. The only thing I need you to be cautious about is make sure that you have the zip tie laying the correct way, okay, so it'll work. But this will be what you attach it to your project with. Now you can tighten this guy down as tight as you can do it, because the tighter the center is, the floofier the bow is. Now I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut this excess of the zip tie that's going around the bow off, leaving my other one for attachment. Isn't that awesome? Okay, now is the fun part. We're going to fluff. Actually, before I fluff, let's do our tails. So holding the middle, I'm going to come down here to this end and squish these in half like this. Now we're going to do dovetails. I'm going to do it at the same time so I get the same dovetail and only have to cut once. So I've folded this in half. Now I'm going to take this wired edge to this wired edge and fold it over. Okay, And now I'm going to cut from the fold to the wire at an angle. So using my scissors, grab them here. And if you'll cut just slightly above where the fold is here, you'll get the perfect separated dovetails. You end up with this little piece. But look, here are your double dovetails, right? Perfect. Okay, now let's fluff. Now let me show you something. Here's what you got to do. You don't just fluff like this. You don't just grab and go forward, okay? You want to grab it and move it around, all right? See how I'm going to turn the ribbon? That's why I'm using wired ribbon. I don't want to see the side of my bow. I want to see the loop of the bow. So bring it over and turn it into place. And I will tell you, sometimes you'll find that this looks even better if you do it on the project rather than in your hand. Sometimes if you take it to the project and then fluff it all up, it works a little better. Go from both sides, both directions. My ribbon is super thick, super thick. So I'm going to come in here, and that's why I'm using a zip tie too, because I can get in there and mess with it. So pull, tug, and twist. Pull, tug, and twist. That's what you want to do with these loops. Okay, so here is our bow. Now here's something else I want to tell you. Notice how loose the center is. If you're putting this on a wreath, this is when it looks even better. When you take this to the wreath and you tighten it down, it will take the middle and push it a little bit, and it will make your bow look even better when you tighten that zip tie underneath and squish it down in. It's so hard to show y'all a good looking bow on camera like this, but that is how you make your bows, and you will love how they look. This is a nice full bow. It goes like this. Now this is an 8.5 yard bow. The other one I suggest for you is a 5.5 yard. If you want something a little smaller than this, 5.5 yards, the same measurements, works really great. I hope that helps you guys out in your bow making. All right, guys, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give me a thumbs up, and please don't forget to subscribe so you can see whenever I put out more content like this. And honestly, I got another video coming that is a bow hack, and you won't want to miss it. So until next time, bye now.